What is up, YouTube? It's Jared. You're watching Spinning Wheel. Today we're going to be learning how to take the starter off of the BMW, but to get to the starter I have to take the intake manifold off as well. So we're also going to learn how to do that. Let me just show you where we're at right now. Alright, well, as you can see, the air intake would go right here. That's been removed, so you have to remove that. You got to remove the throttle body. This is the throttle body right here. There are 4 bolts that go around this opening right here on the air intake manifold. So yeah, so this is what we're doing. We're just removing this so that I can get to the starter. You do have to remove the intake, the fuel rail. You also have to move this wiring harness. So I'll have to do that in a second, but I'm basically just gonna try to show you everything that I do. And hopefully this will help you guys out in the future if you guys ever run into this issue or need to remove something or whatever. Good note, it is always a good time to replace gaskets when you remove stuff. So I'll be replacing the intake manifold gaskets and also the throttle body gaskets. So anyways, let's get right into it. Okay, so there's these 2 fuel send lines or relay lines. I'm not sure what you call them, but anyways, you got to remove both fuel lines from that. Otherwise, this will not be able to, the intake manifold won't be able to lay over on the engine. So I've already removed one of them. The second one is going to be a little bit more difficult to get to, but I got to try somehow. Anyways, this is the fuel line right here. So when you get rid of these, sorry for all the gunshot sounds. The apartment complex right here. The apartment complex I live at is replacing a lot of the roof tiles on some of the buildings. So that's what I have to deal with today. But anyways, just find an old bolt, plug up that hole, the fuel line holes, and you should be good. Okay, so I am opting to remove the windshield wiper cowl and then also this piece that goes behind the firewall. There's just 2 bolts. Actually, looks like there's more, but mine didn't have any bolts attaching it to the firewall. So I'm opting to remove the windshield wiper cowl. There's basically just like these plastic nut things, look like this. You can't really see, there we go. Just a flathead screwdriver, get them loose and then finger loosen them. But you're obviously gonna have to remove the windshield wiper arms to remove this cowl cover, but I feel like that's just gonna give me better access and I'll be able to see better. So that's what I'm just doing. You probably don't have to do this if you're a professional or if you're semi-professional, but I am not a professional. I don't even know what I'm looking for. So that's what I'm doing. All right, so you probably don't actually have to take the cover of this off. I didn't know that. I didn't know how to get the injector stuff off, so I just pulled it off thinking I needed to. You don't really have to. There's this wire clip right here. You can see right here, there's a wire clip. You basically just have to pry these 2 ends off the side because that's what connects to the fuel injector itself. So once you pry those off, you basically get this piece off, and then there's bolts down here in between each intake, individual intake. So there's a total of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 bolts, it looks like, that you gotta take off to remove the intake manifold. And as far as I know, that's all I have to do. I'm not sure about this wire hose. I don't know what this is for. But yeah, that might have to come out. But I'm really close to getting the intake manifold off, which is good. So I don't know if you can see those guys. They're basically done with the roof. So that's a giant apartment building, and they've gotten the entire roof reshingled, and I barely got the intake off. It's been like a half an hour, no joke. It's literally been like a half an hour and they're already done with it. It's incredible how fast those guys are. Anyways, that's good for me because maybe they're gonna stop making gunshot noises and stuff and I'll actually be able to get work on this car done. So yeah, so the next thing is to do the intake manifold and get that taken off. All right guys, so good news. I was able to get the manifold off, which was really great. And now, here is the starter down here. You can see it right there, right here. That's the starter. So that's what I need to get out next. It does look like it's gonna be kind of a challenge to get it completely out, but I think I got what it takes to get it out. So we're just gonna go for it and see what happens. All right guys, so I was able to get the old starter out. This is the old one, this is the new one. There's a bracket, you can see right here, there's a bracket that holds the starter in place. You have to undo that. There's also 2 bolts on either side of the starter. I should kind of show you where those go. You can see where the starter was. There's a bolt up here and also a bolt down there. And those on the back sides, they are actually a looks like this. It's an E14 female socket Torx bit type thing. So I went out and I bought a set of these Starbit sockets. I get no peace and quiet around here, man, I tell you what. But yeah, so it came out. There's also these, there's 2 brackets that hold the air intake manifold. They get mounted here and here. I just took out one of them. It was easier to remove. Also, there's this like metal bracket that holds a whole bunch of wires together. It just screws right, can't really see it, but right there. So I undid that so I could kind of pull this apart and wiggle it out, and you have to kind of finagle the starter all the way out so you can get to it. It looks like the teeth on my flywheel are okay, but I can't really tell. Hopefully that isn't the actual issue and it was just the starter was just crapping out on me. So obviously the reverse of this is how you are going to install the starter. Something else that's going to be really handy is a flexible ratchet or just something to hold that E14 Torx bit, just because you can't really get a hand back there. So you can't really get a ratchet on anything. So that helps kind of just hold that bolt around or in place as you like take the nuts off. But yeah, so starter is off. I'm just gonna remove this bracket from the old starter, put it on the new starter. That way it doesn't shake around too much and break, because I've heard that people have had that issue. So I want to make sure that I switch that over and should be fine. So anyways guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully it was helpful for you if you're working on a starter or even an intake manifold. I am going to be replacing the gaskets on the intake manifold and the throttle body, both which attach to the intake manifold. So I'll be replacing those gaskets just because it's a good idea to do that, especially since this car is really old. I don't know how long it's been since that's been changed, or even if it's been changed. So anyways guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Check out some of the other videos I've got. Also subscribe, keep it yagging, and I'll see you guys later.